Hey everyone, how's it going? How's it going,
Morning,
JB?
everybody. Good morning, Matt. How you doing?
Not doing much. I got a extra day off of work, which
Very cool.
is cool in one sense and bad in another. I
Yeah.
need it. Well, robs
It's.
me
I,
of.
I'm assuming it's an unpaid day then.
Yeah, it's an unpaid day, so
Bummer.
it robs me of some time. So
Bummer.
I
Bummer.
try and squeeze every second of the clock I can out of my job, but when it's a slow time of the year, it's a slow time of the year. You just don't
Yeah.
get it. So,
Hey, the
hey,
gray
Gray,
man's here. Nice.
how's it going, Gray Man? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. You
Oh,
and
there we
James are
go.
our only
Classic.
visitors from across the pond.
Yeah, we
So,
got the gray man. CFAB's up early. How you doing, CFAB?
hey, CFAP. You were getting out of the hospital soon this next week here, right? I thought I heard on your channel, JB.
I
Back.
believe so. I think that's what he said.
That's cool.
That's good news. Glad to hear that.
But yeah, got all new bags and boards for my books here. So now I'm just basically grading, you know.
And then this is this awesome Mr. Gretzky 9966 haul that you got in here.
Yeah, the new
Yeah,
99 haul. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it was really, really cool.
Hey man, did you get a chance to check out my first CGC unboxing there?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit more.
Well, I didn't know it was coming back. There was only and I didn't know that's how they do it. It's going to cost you have to be strategic when you're submitting, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you submitted like I am, I'm going to pay out the wazoo in shipping, man.
Yeah, I understand that. And that's another
And
reason
you
why.
got to group things together, and I didn't do that at all. Like if you were going to do moderns, then like I had modern submitted, but half of them I had clean and pressed. So that's going to be 2 shipments coming back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was Silver Age. So I'm gonna end up with 3. No, actually, I'm probably gonna end up with 4 shipments because I also did custom labels on some of them. So I'm probably gonna end up with 4 shipments for my one submission. That's gonna
Yeah.
cost me a fortune in shipping.
Yeah.
Yes, the Gray Man James is in the UK and he has got a monster box headed his way.
Yeah.
Which brings up a point that today, man, I hope this really works out for me. But Stacy's Fat Stacks is in Canada. And I really want to start shipping to Canada. I want Canada to be a place that no one's, that the comic book community is not afraid to ship to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really going to find out, what does a Gemini mailer with like 10 comic books cost to ship to Canada so that we have a real good number of what that is. So I'll be doing that today as I send out some books to Stacy's Fat Stacks in Canada. Yes. Yeah, they should do college courses in grading comics, right? I mean, man, some of these comic books are appreciating at a higher rate than gold.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm doing that using my oversheet guide to grading comics here to look
That's
at.
the one. That's the grail, they say.
And then I've been using this instead of eBay, the current, price guide to value.
Well, I mean, that's tough, man. I really think any price guide in print is probably only about 75% good because I bet you 25% of the market is really ebbing and flowing.
Yeah. Well, I've watched a couple of episodes of Bueller's channel when he did that Oversheet versus eBay, and Oversheet has won in value every single time. It's never lost a round.
And I'm going to give Gray Man a little hint here. Hey, so what I did, Gray Man, was I took the first box. Actually, I'll show it to you. Hold on for a second.
But yeah. Oops.
So I took the standard box, the one that, it's got 50 comic books in it, where in the United States, this is a $15 ship anywhere in the United States. Mm-hmm. This is $38 and some change to get to the UK. So what's that? 15. It's almost 3 times the cost. 15, no, 30, no, just over twice. So $38 to ship this box to the UK. And he's going to have like 3 of these when it's all said and done. But that was my quote there to get that to the UK. That's expensive. I mean, you're talking about $38 for the 52 books. You got to amortize that through. Hey, you got Speedies, by the way. Let me quick shout out to Speedy's Comic Book Showcase. People are like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
This is Comic Ron, everybody. You can see by Ron Saunders down there.
Oh, cool.
Speedy's Comic Book Showcase is a podcast that he had for many years, and Ron's family used to be in the comic book business. You know, he owned a comic book store. Well, when he first started his channel, he came out Comic Ron, and I've been talking to him, and he said, "Hey, you know, I've always gone by Speedies. You think it's too late to change the name?" I was like, "No, man, he got 60 subscribers. I don't know how many he has now." I'm like, "It's not too late." So this is actually Comic Ron. And I just want to throw out to the community, if you're watching this on the rewind or you're watching this live, let's go ahead and shoot some prayers over to Comic Ron, who's got some family stuff going on with his mom right now. And I just, you know, I'm telling you, my daughters and I sat down and we sent some prayers your ways last night. Also in the chat, Tom's Comic Books and Reviews, who will be appearing on my show next week. I'm booking him to be on the show next week for Disco After Dark. So if you guys want to meet Tom in person, he appeared on last night's epic 6-hour stream as a guest, and I believe, what channel was that on? There was a 6-hour stream. I think I took it off the playlist already. Man, where's Z Collects, man, when you need him? He'll be dropping links in here. Yeah. But Tom's Comic Book Reviews made an appearance the first time I had seen him. He was on live on a live stream last night, and I'm gonna have him on the show next week at some point, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. At least that's what I'm trying to book out. I'm trying to book out guests so that I actually have a format for the show.
That's nice. But yeah, I've had books like this here. I thought it might have been about a 4.0, you know, lower grade, mid-grade kind of thing. You know, not very high, just because of the spine stresses, the spine curvature a little bit, where, you know, like there.
But Needmo, thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Needmo Comics had an epic 6-hour stream, and it was funny because I was like, why would somebody name their the stream 6-hour live stream? Well, he had 6 hours left in StreamYard for the month, so he was going to use them up.
Nice. But yeah, but according to the Oversheet price guide, this is $6. So, and I had several other books that I did before, you know, here $9, $9. I'm going, I paid 58 cents for this book.
50. I told you when you were opening that, I said, if you were at a con, by the way, those are all $10, 10, 15, $20 at a con, because if you haven't been, there are con prices. I mean, pricing is con prices. Are you hitting the black light on that?
No.
Oh, just regular? You're looking for pinholes?
Flashlight, yeah.
You look for pinholes and for ink?
Yeah, looking for wrinkles and pinholes and trying to just do the best job I can for accurate grading, because I'm still learning and I'm probably going to be high on the scale regardless of what I do. Like here,
these are keepers, right? This is your own PC.
Yeah, definitely keeper. Like here's a piece of tape on this cover here, right under comics.
Oh, wow.
See the discoloration. So then apparently some guy named Jim liked his book.
Great.
And some tears and all that, you know, some slight stains. Looks like some watercolor or stain-like thing here. But yeah, just trying to do the best job I can to run through things.
Cool. Now, are you dropping notes on the back of the board?
No, I don't really do that just yet, because I generally try to memorize what
the key factor is.
Yeah, so it's like going, okay, if it's 4.0, it has generally this problems.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that detail. I'm talking about the key factor for the book. Like, hey, first appearance of, do you write that on the backing board?
Well, like this one here, you know, is I haven't looked at my key collector app, but this here says some things about it too. Like this, it's versus Distegron or whatever. So,
okay, so you do a sticker. I actually just write on the back of the board.
I do the sticker kind of thing. In fact, you've got the books from me where I wrote on the sticker on the back. So 89 is expert in his grading. Oh, don't even say that. I'm expert in grading like, you know, amateur is professional. So, but yeah.
Hey, shout out to the 7 people who are watching us live. You got 6 thumbs up already. Somebody out there's got to get an extra thumbs up in there. Come on.
Oh, I forgot to do it. Never mind. But yeah, so what was your comic haul this Wednesday? What'd you get?
Oh man. All right. Yeah, I had 14 things on the pull, but you know what? I ended up reading a couple things last night. And let me go grab those real quick. 1 second.
Yeah. Really cool. I didn't have much on mine. So let's see what else. But yeah, this one here has staining. High, looks like some stain. There's a little discoloration on the R on Spider. This looks like
all right.
crease marks.
I had 14 books on my pull, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I think there is 4 X titles, right? So I'm all in on the X titles.
Yeah.
But I went with Batman 86. Now, anyone that watches me knows that I get my books from Chino Comics and More in Houston, Texas, and I live in California. But I want to support the community. This is a great group of guys, man. This is a great family. They run a family business, and they decided that they were going to buy a comic book store early last year. And I was all in. I was like, hey, I'm supporting this. This is great. And they ship me my books, and it's very similar to Midtown. You know, they'll pull my books together. I still get my discount. I don't really have any issues. Plus, he's always kind of, he's looking out for you, and he says, hey man, JB, you didn't get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 100. I got a copy for you. Want one? Yeah, dude, I do. Throw that shit in there. Walking Dead's last issue, when it was a shock to everybody, it was the last issue. He's like, hey man, did you get one? No. Boom. He takes care of me. So it's nice to have that. Cause Midtown's not doing that shit for you. But anyway, I ended up getting Batman 86, nice. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 101, which is my spec buy, which I know I'm not supposed to be doing. Battle Pug 5, which I enjoy. Some people don't like it. Totally understand. Yeah. The Clock 1, which I read. Everybody hated it. I was not a fan of the art, but I was intrigued by the story.
Yeah. Definitely intrigued by the story. Just a second. Sure. I got another guy coming in here. Southern Comic Geek.
Hey, Southern Comic Geek. I don't know if we've met.
No, sir, but I feel like I'm in privileged company here. Like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Stop, man.
I'm talking about you because
he's talking about you, man. He ain't talking about me. You don't even know who I am.
Well, JB, you were doing an auction with Big Will the other day, and I bought a comic off of there. But yeah, I've been watching your live streams and such.
Yeah, we'll be doing the lineup at some point today. I'm really loose on the morning show because it really depends on the kids, and Matt was gracious enough to invite me on, and I love guest appearances, so I'm going to delay the morning show. We'll probably do that 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, maybe 2 p.m. Eastern, because I put that together.
Yeah, well, you're about like Wolverine, man. You're in every single comic show out there, right? So.
I try to be. No, I'm always taking the invite if someone needs another guest. It's not easy, guys. If you do this, if you get in front of the camera, last night, if you watched Disco After Dark, I reached out at the last moment, and I was struggling to get anyone to come on. I'm like, man, I got to get somebody to come on. I don't want to be there by myself. And Old Wolf was like, dude, I'm going to bed. I go, come on, man. I go, just give me 15 minutes. I swear someone else will pop in. Someone else will definitely pop in. And it's tough to sit in front of the camera without even having somebody. Old Wolf said very little. He said, I basically smiled and nodded, but it's huge having that other person to at least know that there's a reaction to what you're saying. But yeah, when you're by yourself and you're just staring in the camera and you're trying to watch the chat out of the corner of your eye, it's tough to see if it's flowing or not. Yeah. So having somebody else there, at least nodding their head back and forth, they're getting the gist of the story or what's going on.
Which is why I invited people, because I'm just doing this and be like, who knows how long, me just going like, oh yeah, hi, how's it going, Gray Man? Oh, that is an interesting comment. Yeah, cool. And enjoy watching me do this for 10 minutes.
Yeah, why not?
Those are some pretty cool ASM books, though, man. You got a really good deal on those.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
that wasn't a deal. That was basically an A-OK. Yeah. That was an A-OK. Which, by the way, let me introduce myself. I'm JB, and what do you go by? What's your handle?
Southern Comic Geek.
Southern. Okay. Have you ever seen any other community do anything like this?
No,
I've never seen anybody. People don't give Funko Pops to each other. Right. I don't see Funko Pops getting A-OK to each other all over the place. I don't see statues or figures or action figures I don't see nothing like that. There's nothing like this community.
Yeah.
And basically, I know Mr. Comics 89, Matt over here paid 58 cents a book, but you're talking about $9, $6, $5, $20 books.
$12 if my grading is correct. So
see? So he basically gave them to you for shipping. That was an A-OK. Definitely.
Sure.
Only one that was close to close to what I paid for, whatever. When he said $3 was ASM 375, the foil Venom, whatever, which basically said $3 in here. So I'm like, okay, that one is accurate. So, but everyone else is like going, yeah, it's highway robbery almost.
So Southern Comic Geek, I'm not familiar with your channel. Do you have content on your channel?
Yeah, I've been posting haul videos and a couple of reviews, mainly haul videos that I'm doing as I've been rebuilding my collection. I've been out of the hobby for years now and just now getting back into the hobby. And so I've been picking up a lot of books as of late.
Do you have your YouTube up? Can you drop a comment in the chat so I can go ahead and check out your channel and everyone else in the live chat?
This is new to me. So I see the live comments over there. So how do I can?
Okay, well, that's the StreamYard. You can't drop a comment in the StreamYard unless you're the admin, meaning only Matt can drop a comment there. But if you opened up another window and opened up YouTube and pulled up this broadcast, you'd want to mute it. You want to mute it because that's the rookie move. That's what I always do. You pull up this broadcast and mute it, and then you can drop a comment in there. Once your comment's in there, everybody else in the chat can hit those 3 buttons and go check out your channel.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I get a link, I'll make sure to put your channel or your link in my description after we're all done here, just that way anyone else can.
Actually, I'll do it as soon as you drop a comment in there. I'll drop a link in the chat here to your channel, and then Matt can take that link and edit his description and drop it in the description below.
Yeah.
So how long you been on YouTube, Southern Comic Geek?
Like I said, just since I've got back into collecting, so just been sharing some of my finds and that type of stuff.
What do you collect? Are you a DC guy, a Marvel guy?
I've always been a Marvel guy, and aside from say Batman, but I've been picking up a lot of indies as of late. I think the indie publishers are putting out a lot of better content these days than what they did back in the 90s when I was really collecting big. So I've been picking up things like Gideon Falls and Oblivion Song, and been looking at some of the Boom Studios stuff too. So
that's cool. I mean, I've only been in this hobby for a year and 4 months now. I mean, I did a little bit of trade paperback reading, but I've never really got into comics until I was getting this tattoo touched up and literally spent 4 hours staring at a graded Superman book with that green cover, the die cut cover as first Eradicator kind of a thing, or in the Superman story, and going like, that is a beautiful comic book. And I couldn't buy it at the time, couldn't afford it, but it was still there when I came back to visit my friends who own the comic shop and the tattoo shop and all that, and I finally bought it. And I only buy these die cut covers. I won't get into it. I'm not going to get into it. It's not like tattoos where I want to get more and then snowballed. So
yeah, there's so many niches that you can get into. I've been doing a lot of going to different cons and picking up a lot of signatures from different various artists, and been getting some sketch covers done as of late. So I was just at Wizard World this past weekend and met Jim Steranko.
Oh, dude, he was awesome, isn't he? He loves being Jim Steranko too, doesn't he? Doesn't he? He was awesome. Yeah. So I tried to take a picture with him in Baltimore. He was, he had his entourage and he was leaving and he was shaking a few hands, and I got up next to him like, hey, can I take a selfie? And he goes, no. Only pictures with beautiful women. Only pictures with beautiful women. I was like, come on.
Yeah, he told me the same thing, because usually I like to get a picture with everybody. He goes, look, at my age, you'll be surprised what I get away with.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, I had a small haul this week. Literally only had, star number 1. I had to have J. Scott.
That was on the list. I never finished my list, by the way. I had 14 on the list, but star number 1 is on my list.
And it left me wanting to read more. I only wanted to get the 1 copy of the first issue, but it literally left me wanting to know the rest of the story. Just with that reality stone and all that, is just okay. I need.
No, I'm ready yet. Don't do. No spoiler yet. No spoiler. Come on.
Mary's Mary Jane number 4, which
I'm not doing Mary Jane.
Well, I started it, but I'm not sure if I want to jump off of it or not. It's like it keeps just being good enough that it keeps me.
That's my issue with all the X titles.
Yeah.
After like the second week, I'm like, I'm dropping some of these. I can't do this. And every week I inevitably
had to have Amazing Spider-Man.
Got Amazing Spider-Man on my list.
And this was unintentional. The
I
teenage.
got that on the list. Yep.
And the only reason I got it was because of the cover. I love all 5 of them on the cover, like that. All 5 turtles on the cover.
Tell me you're going to tell me you got Batman, right?
I did not get Batman.
You did not get Batman? Why did you not get Batman?
I'm Batman Beyond. That's my guy.
Okay, Batman Beyond's your thing. I mean, I'll be honest. I was so pumped. I stopped reading Batman, I don't know, 3 or 4 issues ago. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm just going to wait for the new writer. Forget it.
Yeah.
And so I would hype myself out of the freaking building for this thing.
That's what they wanted you.
And I was terribly disappointed the first time I read it. I mean, I'm not terribly. I was disappointed with the first time I read it. I thought the art is fantastic. The splash pages are amazing, really good. But I read it a second time, where I got the kids out of my ears. Said, okay, let me read it again. This is not a bad book. This is going to be. I'm hoping this is going to be good. I think he is laying down some foundation here to something that could be really good.
Yeah.
There are issues, Batman's always got issues in the head, but I like the story that he's starting to weave, especially with Catwoman again and getting that going.
What was the new villain's name? I thought there's a new.
There's a couple of new villains in here. A funky thing though is they introduced them on paper with the teeth and the.
There you go. It's like teeth. I'm going like
I can't remember what the other one was, but. We never see him again. We never see him again. Literally, we get one panel where he turns over and you see this hideous looking face and he grunts. I don't even think he talks. I don't know if he can talk. I mean, it looks like his mouth is sewn open.
Yeah.
But we never see him again. So, we'll
Tom King, I mean, it had such a long run at Batman to try to bring back some of the classic Batman fans into there. I mean, they got to lay a foundation, right? So I can understand the first issue not being up to par. I think maybe we set ourselves up for disappointment, just by saying, man, I'm ready for some action, some old Batman, that type thing.
And
but
that fight scene could have been huge. I mean, I feel like they totally skipped over what could have been an epic fight. Between they start, they give you a couple panels, and then it's over, and you're like, oh, what happened, man? You could have went a whole couple splash pages with that fight, and it would have been an epic. Yeah. So anyway, and then like I mentioned, the clock. I read the clock. I don't like the art, but cancer hits home to my family. I've had many losses in the family with regards to cancer, and the story is about cancer, and it's about anyone predisposed to cancer in your family history. It's hitting now, and it's hitting at such a hard rate that from even at an early diagnosis, from the moment that you notice you got cancer, you're dead in 2 months. And at the current rate that this thing is evolving, the population on the planet will be in half within a year.
Yeah.
So even though the art wasn't there, I dig the story. Cancer means something to my family. I want to see where it goes. So I'll definitely be getting the second one of that. And then I'm still on Immortal Hulk. This is the stuff en route. Yeah. I had to go out and get all the X titles. The only X title I actually read last night was Excalibur. I read Excalibur last night.
I dropped Excalibur after the first issue. That was one that I said, I got to fire it.
And this is probably one of the storylines that I like the least. I'm not a big Captain Britain fan in that whole other world. I like what they're doing with it right now, but I was never a fan of it, so I don't really have the backstory in it. And I'm still behind on my other one, so please no spoilers. I'm really looking forward to X-Force. I've really enjoyed X-Force the most. Yeah, I think that X-Men 1 and 2 was slow, considering that you gave us the 12-issue buildup. X-Men should have taken off from issue 1, and issue 1 felt like a filler issue almost, Yeah, right. Issue 2 laid a little foundation, but I thought issue 4 was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed issue 4 and how them being in that boardroom, straight up telling the powers of the world, this is how we're going to do it. And guess what? It's exactly what you do. Yeah. We're going to take your money and we're going to buy your networks. We're going to buy your politicians. We're going to buy, and I'm like, and they're sitting at the table like, oh shit.
And by the way, the steak is great. So
by the way, the steak is great. Oh, and you can go ahead and quit touching your ear because your strike teams are done.
They're down.
Yeah. And I didn't know who Gorgon was, the dude with the swords.
Yeah.
And I'll go straight up spoiler, dude. When he cut all those dudes' arms off and said, "You're lucky that we, we have this law of not killing humans, or I would have taken all your heads." That was cool.
Yeah. I love that. I do X-Men and X-Force. Those are the two I'm doing. Marauders, I mean, I almost
Oh no, I like Marauders, dude. Kate Pride's killing it.
well, I almost got the first one just because her walking into the gateway and not being able to get through.
Yeah, she can't get through, which I think is going to come back. There's something key to that. I really think Hickman's Lane. There's something key to her mutation that there's something there that won't let her in.
But is it, what's the current issue on X-Force? Because I thought
five.
I must.
Is it 5? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, 5. I got it right here.
Then I missed 5. Then so I should have.
It just came out this week.
Yeah, it just came out. But I haven't read. I still have New Mutants, which I haven't been a huge fan of New Mutants, but Hickman's actually writing it.
Yeah, New Mutants actually pulled me back. The first issue, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna fire it. But then
I don't know the characters really.
Well, I'm going back to the 80s and the 90s, you know, the old New Mutants team, and that's the kind of vibe that I get. Even the Bill Sienkiewicz-ish type art there kind of drew me in. So I'm on board with New Mutants for right now.
Well, I'll tell you, at the end of every episode, they get you. Mm-hmm. At the end of every book that I get to the last couple pages, I'm like, yeah, you did it again. You did it again. I thought I was dropping you, and I'm not dropping you.
That's why it's $1 billion empire, man.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Now, some of the other things I got that I'm really looking forward to coming in are Venom 22.
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, I like Savage Avengers, guys. I'm a fan of Savage Avengers. I've had a good time with that.
Is Fitch still drawing that?
I believe so. I haven't gotten it's en route, so it hasn't showed up yet. But I've really enjoyed Savage Avengers too.
Yeah, I've heard some good things.
So 14 on my poll, which is a huge poll, huge week. But considering 4 of them are X titles, my only scheduled pull it for me, whether I ask for it or not, are all the X titles right now and all the Batman titles.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, Batman Detective, Batman Last Night, Batman's Grave, Batman's whatever. I'm getting all the Batmans and all the X titles.
Yeah.
Hey, you did it. There you go. Congratulations.
Congratulations. So,
100 subscribers. We've got a milestone, everybody.
But, yeah. Me with mine, I mean, you said earlier, Southern comic that you mostly Marvel and all that.
Yeah.
When I started collecting, I was Action Comics and Superman. I was mainly DC. DC. That's what I was doing, getting those 2 titles every week and whatever I liked. But somewhere along the line, when I started picking up Amazing Spider-Man, forget where exactly I picked him up, but I think it might have been fairly quickly after they started the new run here, that somehow I completely 180'd in that time period. Now I'm 95% Marvel, and the only DC I'm pretty much getting is Action Comics and Superman. So
do you like the Amazing Spider-Man run that's being done right now?
I'm actually enjoying it. Yes, I mean,
I'm behind. I'm probably behind like 6 issues on current Amazing Spider-Man.
The 2009 stuff. It was just kind of.
I mean, I can understand why some people like Reggie, he's having a hard time getting into it and all that. He's mainly getting it because he collects it, Spider-Man. But I kind of agree. There's a channel out there called Comic Book University where he just does reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally agree with him that it's just a very easy read for me. It's very easy, to get into it. I mean, Spider-Man, like last issue or the issue before, he was barely in it. You know,
that one right there is the one that came out this week. I liked it, but the other ones, I mean, I wish I hadn't even picked them up. The 2099 thing, I think, was just
that was very tough.
Non-starter.
I was really confused, especially also because to really get the full story, you need to get other issues, and I wasn't collecting those. So I'm jumping around from chapter 1 to chapter 10 to chapter 12 and going, okay, let's see if I can understand the whole story now. So that's my problem with that.
By the way, you mentioned Reggie, Reggie actually stopped by Disco After Dark last night, and I think it's the first time Reggie's ever been in any of my live streams.
Oh, wow.
So that was cool. I was pumped. I had to take a break. I was like, whoa, dude, what's in here? Everybody take a moment. Hey, Aggressively Relaxing is popping in.
A very cool name.
One of the best. Come on. Aggressively Relaxing. That's amazing. That's a great handle. Hey, by the way, now that I'm on the show and I just want to give a shameless plug, I got a t-shirt. I'm a t-shirt whore.
Yeah.
I got a t-shirt yesterday from another great comic book community member. If you guys aren't checking out 1-2 Comic Talk, it's a father and son duo that do reviews. I've had them on the show a couple times and they're fantastic. Also, Daniel Arzola sent me this T-shirt. And Daniel Arzola's got a couple new designs, and you got to check him out on Instagram. He's another great community member, and I wear large, by the way. So if you want to send me a T-shirt, I will pimp it out for you and give you a shout out. Thanks, fellas.
In the minute I actually get my samples and all that I want to do, when I can start affording goodies again, I definitely want to send you a large.
There you go.
Because just when I wanted to do it is like, man, I couldn't do a lot of.
You know what? You're definitely onto something. I should be bagging and boarding too. I gotta pre-bag some. I gotta get some stuff going too.
But yeah.
What'd you think of my first CGC submission? By the way, Southern Comic Geek, I just checked your channel. You had a CGC submission. You did a today? Was it today? Let me check that.
Well, I did one
12 hours ago. You dropped one.
Yeah, that was the one that I got from Big Will. Was the box opening that I had, the CGC. Okay. Now I did do one that I got back from the Memphis Comic Expo that I did in October. Just now getting those books back, and those were all signature series CGC. So
that's cool. Can you explain that Monopoly kind of board thing over your shoulder?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah.
So that is an original copy of the Monopoly. Let me see if I can turn the thing right there. So that is actually an original version of the Monopoly board that came in the 1930s. So if you notice, the houses are actually made of wood as opposed to plastic. And then this is the original box cover. And then Community Chest. They had different cards back then. So Community Chest were off the gold standard. Obviously, it's been quite a long time since we've been off the gold standard. And the exemption card that they don't spread the wealth around. So nowadays, that's more of a everybody wants to spread the wealth around. So
yeah. Well, Monopoly was invented a long time ago because it taxes the rich.
You're right.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, so my comics are actually on my wall over there. It's just where my desk is set up. So I've got all my slabs and my signature signed stuff over there on that side of the room. So
I'm waiting for my CGC stuff to come back in but my shop would still give it, and then I'm thinking I held a video a while ago and I held this round robin discussion between a couple people about CBCS and PGX, and I think I have decided that I do want to go with just CBCS just because of the experience I've had with them and getting books back. Because a lot of stuff I do send to them, I don't sell.
Oh, someone's at the front door.
Yeah, you heard that?
Yeah.
So I've been kind of debating that myself. When I got out of comics, it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a thing at all, rather, to get them encapsulated. So when I got back in, I did a video on that. My first submission, I made all the newbie mistakes. No pressing, send it off. I'm sure it'll be great and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, and then I was kind of debating because there's stuff I get signed at these cons whether the CGC might not be there to witness the signature, and I don't want the other color label for stuff. So I've been kind of debating back and forth with CBCS and PGX. I sent my first box off to PGX. I'll get it back next month. But this reason, I kind of got personal reasons on CBCS. The company that owns them, Eli Global, is in some financial straits. So I just don't know whether or not how that's gonna affect CBCS. CBCS is owned by Beckett Media. Beckett Media is owned by Eli Global.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
Eli Global.
I didn't even know PGX was still a company, guy. I don't know of anybody that uses them.
Well, and then there's another company out there too that I've seen that's I think newer than even them, but I haven't really seen that many reviews on them. But newer than PGX, yeah.
You're talking about EGS.
Oh, EGS. Okay.
Expert grading services that does the custom colors if you wanted.
Have either of y'all used them before?
I have not used them yet. I've seen a lot, I've seen a lot of their stuff because Billy from Economics and Comics has been posting a lot of their stuff. He does some stuff with them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it when you checking out with one just because it's a personal collection book, and obviously, but I'm a very usually a very smart penny pincher kind of thing. I mean, I have my weaknesses, like when it comes to comic books, it's a little harder to keep an eye on it. But sending things out to be graded like that, it's a little. I'm more hawkish, and
Yeah.
well, the value and all that is here for me. I'd rather send it to here because it's just better for me. Because, like I said, I could send 4 modern books to CBCS, and I would have spent like on the books when I had them listed, and it basically came up out was like 100. I sent the same 4 books off at my LCS, it would have been $100. So
Right.
that's roughly the same amount of money I was going to be spending anyway, just with a different company. So I didn't see a downside.
And I've gone back and forth in whether or not to slab at all, just simply because that money I'm paying for slabbing, I can go buy more books with. So
It's true. That's true. I'm having a hard time right now. Not a hard time, but I sell comic books. If you don't notice, I've been selling off all the. I like to buy mystery boxes. I'm currently sitting on. Yeah, I know, right? I've got Comic Tom's mystery box coming in, which I get every month. Barbarian Kung Fu's mystery box is coming in. I just bought another Bueller box yesterday. I bought 84's box. I don't know if you know, Comic Head 84 released a box. Yeah. I'm waiting for Jabroni version 2 to come out. And then I got to get me a couple more Spider-Man's and Vantages so I can do my unboxings with Comic Fu and Squatchy. So I buy a lot of mystery boxes and then I turn around and sell, off the stuff that I don't want.
Right. I have
a pop-up shops.
I have a small hole in this cover. Any idea what that would be? Bring the grade down to? It's right. It's right there. Just like a pinprick in a corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know who? Big Will. Check out some of his grading videos because he kind of goes over, all the different criteria when he's doing it. He put.
Didn't he just release one of those?
Yeah, he releases one every couple days. They're cool.
Okay.
And the beauty is, because he sells all those books that he grades.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying Fantastic 417, I believe, is one of the ones that he had graded, and it's nice to know exactly what you're getting.
Sure.
I knew exactly what I was getting. No, I would want to go back to the CBCS, CGC, PGX thing. A couple of the things that I have submitted in my first submission were strictly to be sold.
Yeah.
And, from what I see in the industry, if you're doing something to be resold, you sure the hell ain't doing it in PGX. You're probably ain't doing it in CBCS unless it's a signature series book,
right? Because
the resale market is really CGC dominated, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the slab. I mean, they feel different. You get them both in your hands, and CGC's got a nicer slab than CBCS.
Definitely agree. This is my third dog, Thea. So
hello, Thea.
There you go.
Small dog. She likes to jump in my lap here when I'm in my office. So, get down. Get down. Come on.
Making fake news is a lot of fun, Aggressively says.
Yeah.
Nice. So what else have you got going on? Southern Comic Geek, do you work from home?
No, I just happen to be off today, but I'm in the insurance business, and that's how I know about Eli Global, because they bought some insurance companies that my company was not able to buy because they bought them.
There you go.
Business dealings, and that's why they're in financial straits now. Hence, reason why I kind of shy away from CBCS, because I don't.
That's interesting. That's interesting industry news, though. I wonder if that really will have an effect. When would something like that have an effect on a CBCS?
Well, if they were having to go back to the mother company to get more money for more investment, or if Eli Global was forced to sell stuff off as a result of settling some other dispute. But
I mean, to me, my hunch is, I'm not a businessman by any means, but it just my mean is that they just trade ownership. Trade ownership and not really, maybe close or whatever, but most likely trade ownership to me.
Well, I don't really know. I guess CGC feels like they've already got a corner on the market. They really don't have to go out of the way for stuff. But if they were willing to do the signature verifications for stuff that they didn't personally witness, I think they would put the other ones out of business. Because I
agree with you.
I feel like a lot of times people go with CBCS just for that reason.
I think that's the only reason you go to CBCS right now is for that reason. The only CBCS slabs that I own are signature verified ones, and they're on the wall.
That, and if they can do some sort of graders notes, like in that QR code on the back, something like that, just not paying.
Yeah.
Here's free graders notes. You're welcome because we love you. Come back to us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So not only do they charge you more, but then if you buy a book that you didn't originally get slabbed, now you got to pay for the graders notes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else is going on today, fellas?
Not really much. Just
I'm probably gonna bounce out here in a couple minutes because I do got to work on my thumbnails for the show today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a lineup show. I don't know, probably in about an hour or so ish.
Cool.
I'm very loosey goosey with that morning show.
Yeah.
But definitely today at 2:35 p.m. Pacific, 5:35 p.m. Eastern, and every day, 5 days a week at that time slot, I'm either selling books or sorting books. And today is a selling day. So we will be doing the comic book pop-up shop today at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Feel free to join me. I do believe, you got a box going here? You do? You're working on a box, Mr. Comics 89, aren't you?
Yeah.
So JB, you can go ahead and sell that Incredible Hulk behind you right there.
Yeah, that's actually, I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's my most watched video. That is a Spider-Man booth win.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
the funny story about that is, one, it came. Some people out there go, hey, maybe that Spider-Man booth sends the grand prizes to people who have channels. That came in my wife's name. So it's because the way I buy stuff on, when I buy stuff, it actually comes through my wife's thing. Whatever, dude. My wife has a job. I don't. I'm a stay-at-home dad. So it came in her name, and then I let how I stack up the boxes. Fuck, I didn't even open it. I left for Chicago for C2E2. And then I came back from C2E2 and decided just to do one live stream, massive unboxing of all this shit because I had too many boxes. And in the middle of that show, I got to the Spider-Man booth. It's about 18 minutes into the video. I get to the Spider-Man booth box. And as soon as I pull the box up to say, hey, I'm opening up the Spider-Man booth box, Billy from Economics and Comics says, that's not how they ship those. I go, what do you mean? He goes, they don't ship them in priority flat rate, boxes like that. I think you hit the GP, and I didn't even know what the GP was at the time. And then the next 5 minutes is just because I had people on the panel. They knew what was coming. I didn't know what was coming. Boom, grand prize.
Wow.
Now, it's the best and worst thing that you can do is hit one of these things early. One, awesome that I've got a $2,600 book hanging on the wall that cost me $30. But B, I've now bought another 25, 30 of these damn boxes and not gotten shite.
You quit while you're ahead. Don't keep pulling the lever on the thing. Just walk away with your winnings.
But there are people who have won multiple times. I mean, Dad has won multiple. There are people in our community that have hit this GP multiple times, and I'm a sucker. I still keep going for it. And now that I have an outlet to move them, what the hell? I just buy another one and sell it off the next day.
So you just keep what you want and then you sell off what
I just keep what I want and then sell off the rest.
Maybe if I did something like you, because mystery boxes just don't hold an appeal for me because I like to have more what I know I'm going to get. If I could say, like, I bought a few mystery boxes from We Love Comics, Chris and We Love Comics and all that, but I, requested Marvel, so that way I know I'm going to get something more likely I'm going to like. So
I need to go check him out again. For some reason, I'm not watching him. Is he still putting content out?
Mm-hmm. I mean, he recently, about 2 months ago, moved down to Florida and all that, and he's starting to get videos out more regularly again because of the move, obviously, and things, and he's doing pretty well down there, So he just released in the last.
Actually, I don't think I'm subscribed to him.
Last whatever it is.
I was in one of his live streams, and he does this thing where he shouts out a community. He shouts somebody out. And I dropped some comments on there, and he even put, even though he's not subscribed to me, he was going to shout me out at the show. So I did get a shout out once, but I haven't subscribed to him yet.
So yeah, but yeah. So
JP, what are you collecting mainly?
If you watch the channel, this is my midlife crisis, guy. I've said it many times. I'm 47 years old. Everything kind of coincided. My father passed away. It took a couple of years to go through his stuff. Literally a couple of years before I would go through his stuff. My wife went into the garage and she's like, "It's been 2 years. Do you think you can start to go through some of this?" And as I started going through them, I found all his old comics, which made me look at my wife and said, "Hey, I have comics. Do you know where these things are at? And she's, where they're like, it's a big long box like this, you know? And she goes, oh, they're in the attic. I went up between my dad's comic books and my comic books. It all came back to me, and I was like, I want to do this. My dad was collecting Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Avengers, basically. So my goal is to finish 1 to 100 in each of those 4 titles, but I am okay, 100% okay with low grade, facsimile, and true believers, and Marvel Tales, and whatever other reprint will be a placeholder to complete the 1 to 100. So if you looked at my collection, you go, blah, 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 wait a minute, that's a True Believers. Well, yeah, I don't have that book. Blah, 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 wait a minute, that's a facsimile. Yeah, I don't have 252. You know, and as you go through, hey, so that's how I'm doing it, and that's the main goal.
Yeah, but as evidence of the Amazing Spider-Man over his right shoulder.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, right there.
The one
Compliments of Mr. Comics 89. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I told my wife, you know, we had some financial problems earlier when she lost her job, you know, because of absolutely ridiculous customer. You know, she was just joking around politely, being all that, and customer complained, and she was out. So it was bullshit. And so with all suddenly all our bills fell upon me, and I don't have enough money to cover all the bills. But luckily, I got into this hobby here, and I could sell several books, and I basically paid the difference until she got her job that she started this week here. So luckily, this hobby saved my ass.
Now my goal has changed a little bit. You know, obviously I still want to complete that thing for my dad, but I collected, you know, Daredevil and X-Men and all this other stuff when I was growing up. And it's very dangerous to have a midlife crisis when you're in your mid-40s. You've got some money because you don't know where to stop, man. You can just buy whatever the hell you want, right? I mean,
especially
it's very dangerous.
Yeah,
I was huge into eBay when I first got back in. I was big. I was like, man, that seems cheap. I'll buy that.
Too easy.
Oh, wait a minute, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Fuck, that's cheap. You guys are giving shit away. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
And we stacked up all these boxes. Now, if you look at this stack, and I still have a stack of boxes, there's nothing in this stack that is not from our comic book community, whether it's Instagram or YouTube. Every single book in here is from the community. There's nothing from eBay anymore.
Cool.
You know, I'm buying exclusively from the community.
Well, the other thing for me is the thrill of the hunt. You know, going out there, and with my job, I'm able to go to different comic shops across different states, and so you know, popping into these shop owner and talking to these shop owners about old times and different stuff, and getting involved with that. That's most of the fun for me. So,
hey, BLC in the house.
Yeah, at work, but like he always is. I wish I could do that. I wish I had a job where I could just have my phone or whatever on my desk or whatever on silent as I was working on. But fortunately, I don't have a computer job.
Yeah, that was my, you know, I'm not going to say retired, but I finished a 9-year run in Lodi, and I'm basically a programmer. I mean, a FileMaker application designer. The company ran on this kind of a goofy platform called FileMaker, and I was able to just code all day with YouTube streaming. Streaming in the background. I'd be listening to everybody's shows. What the hell is that? Hey, check that out. Can you guys see that? That is brand new. There's a bug in there.
Oh, wow.
There's a bug in the bag. Yeah, we're not going to use that one. Brand new, too. Let's open it up. Bug in the bag. So I've looked at the collection recently, and you know, this ballooned. It got crazy. At some point, I lost count of how many short boxes there were, and I said, "No, we got to stop. We got to sell books. We need to get this shit out of here." And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll grab a random short box and we'll sort it. And if it's a book I want to keep, I just toss it off to the side. If not, I put it up in front of the community. They help me price it, and the next day it's available in the pop-up shop.
Yeah.
Blow it out. And then I take that money, I go buy more mystery boxes and more books from the community. Basically, my wife said, if you're not going to work, this has to pay for itself. So I had to start selling some books.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, your method of pop-up shop ones, well, maybe then I could actually start doing something like mystery boxes then, and then actually sell. But then I'm going like, well, I'll have to make sure I could. But you know, it's a way to do it.
Pop-up shop is huge, guys. It really is. On Monday, 8 of the 10 rounds were purchased by community members and then given away to the community. 8 of the 10 rounds. It only cost $12 to buy a round of dollar books. And I mean, I had Pope Cerebus, who's in here right now, say it's cheaper than a round of shots. And the goodwill that you
And the
get,
fun, yeah.
you give away 12 books to the community. And I'm also going to tell you, I mean, there are some new channels that have come in, bought some books, and watched their sub count shoot through the roof, basically in a spike, because you're in front of 30, 40 people and you're saying, hey man, how you doing? I'm a new channel. I'm buying you some books. Come check me out.
Right.
They're probably going to check you out.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had a few books like this here, Spider-Man 235, Origin of Will the Wisp. A very, very, very clean. I created this at 9.0, 9.2. Very nice mission book.
That's nice.
Who's having fun in the background?
It's not me. I don't have any kids over here. My kids are at school.
Well, not all of mine are. See, we've got 6 kids, and so ages 22
Have
to
you
2
met
months.
Matt?
22 to 2 months, man. Yeah.
22 to 2 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So me and my wife took a break, and then I had a midlife crisis. We got empty nest syndrome before we had an empty nest, and so we got 2 more. So I got a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old.
So I'm going to probably jet here in the next couple minutes, but I want to give you guys a quick funny story that I like to tell. You know, when people say, hey, what do you mean midlife crisis? Mm-hmm. And how does your wife let you do this? Those are the 2 main ones, right? First, my wife's got a smoking ass job. Thank you. Love you. None of this happens without her. Yeah. But she asked me, she goes, okay, well, what do you want to do? You know, exactly. What do you want to do? And I was like, you know what? What if let's get like an old Corvette and I'll restore it in the garage. She goes, you're not a fucking mechanic. What do you mean you're gonna restore a car? You don't know what the hell you're doing. I'm like, yeah, it'll be fun. She goes, that really sounds expensive. I'm like, yeah, it'll be expensive. You know, I don't know. When it's all said and done, I'll probably put 30, 40 grand into that car. She goes, no, pick something else. And I'm like, online gambling. I will study. I will spend 8 hours a day studying and I will beat the book. You know, you only got to win 57% of your picks to make money. She goes, you can't pick your nose, man. You couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat. There's no way in hell you're doing that. You're terrible. Because every time I play parlay cards and shit, I never win. Right. I was like, okay. Online pornography. She goes, excuse me? I'm going to go hardcore into online pornography all day. Comic books? Do it. I didn't even finish the rest of the sentence. Comic books. I want to just do it. Comic books. Do comic books. Go. I don't want to hear the rest. And here I am. Comic books. If you give her 4 bad choices, she'll take the one of least resistance. Comic books. And in the end, honestly, I'm a comic book nerd. I mean, for being home all day, I could be into a lot worse shit.
Oh yeah.
At my age.
That's a lot worse vices than this.
I could be doing a whole bunch of stuff that daddy shouldn't be doing. Yeah. But no, I'm freaking watching comic book content. If you ever want to know where I'm at, just go on YouTube because I'm either on a guest appearance on somebody's stream or I'm streaming. It's not like I'm out and about doing things I shouldn't be doing. Yeah. He said hardcore porn comic books. Very cool. Hey,
Spider-Man and Mary Jane. He's Timber.
Dude, superpower review. I just watched your video, man, about that freaking Batman. I mean, the Joker.
Yeah.
That Joker toy. That was unbelievable, man. The detail of the clothing of the one your mom thought she was getting. You know, they're showing the video and it's got all the people taking the clothes off, the guns cocked back and forth. You know, just amazing detail. And then he gets this piece of shit in the mail. He was like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah, that was a great video. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, check out Kevin. It's Superpower Review.
And, check it out.
This video.
Well, before you go, Jamie, I have one package here to open up. So,
what you got?
Drum roll.
Spider-Man key.
Cool. Superpowers don't remind me.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy anything off of Facebook unless it's me.
Which, you know what? Yesterday was the very first time I've ever streamed on Facebook.
But yeah, I'm a very cautious person when it comes to things like that. Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can get in here without cutting the book, shall we? So,
Don't cut the book.
oh, it's good now.
All right.
I mean, tape up the wazoo, but
I hate packing tape on comic book bags. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Pet peeve.
Put another board there. Come on.
yeah. Amazing Spider-Man. 700.
Oh, nice.
It's a good book.
I'm assuming you didn't have it.
Nope. I basically had all the issues except for now 300 and 600, I believe I still need. But otherwise, I have all the 100.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that was one of the books I needed. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, this has been fun. I think I'm gonna walk out here so I can do more.
All right.
But thank you, JB.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, fellas. I really appreciate you having me. And look for me. I'll be live 3 times today. Lineup show at some point. Pop-up shop at 2:30. Disco after dark at 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 midnight.
And thank you, Southern Coming, for showing up. It was
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Thanks.
yeah. All right. Take care, everyone. Happy collecting. See you next time.
See you next time. Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.